welcome to Fraud Stoppers. This video will explain who we are, what we do, why we do it, how we do it, and how we can help you. So pay close attention because you're about to discover a proven system to save time and money and increase your odds of success getting the legal remedy that you deserve, guaranteed. You'll also learn how to avoid common traps, pitfalls, and swindles, and inside banking secrets and legal loopholes they don't want you to know about. Plus, at the end of this video, you'll learn how you can make money helping others do the same. But first, to clear up any confusion, let me tell you what Fraud Stoppers is not. Folks, we're not a law firm. We're not pretender defenders who only care about making a buck or are beholden to the bar. And we're not some investment company trying to buy your house for pennies on the dollar. Fraud Stoppers is a private members association. We operate in the private sector, not the public sector. And for good reason, because we provide litigation support products and services to law firms, foreclosure defense advocacy groups, and pro se litigants suing the banks for fraud. We service all 50 states, Puerto Rico, Australia, Ireland, and the UK. And we provide Bloomberg audits for mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards, chain of title investigations, affidavits and testimony, mortgage fraud, quiet title, and wrongful foreclosure lawsuit packages, complete custom court documents, everything from complaint to judgment, including appeals and bankruptcies, legal education and training, arbitration and mediation, credit repair and credit building, private lending for short sale buybacks, fix and flips, bridge loans, and private equity refinance, referral affiliate programs, and more. We're the nation's premier mortgage auditing and paralegal support company, and we've been flipping tables on the money changers since 2011. You see, we founded Fraud Stoppers because when we discovered the truth behind the mortgage and foreclosure fraud the too big to fail banks were committing, we knew something had to be done. After all, the federal government wasn't helping. They gave the banks $30 trillion in banker bailouts, and state governments weren't helping either. 49 state attorney generals took a $25 billion bribe and agreed not to prosecute the banks. So we're clear here. The banks committed millions of felonies, and we gave them trillions of dollars and a get-out-of-jail-free card. Listen, I'm from Chicago. You know what we call it in Chicago when you pay a prosecutor not to prosecute you? The Chicago way, baby. But like Sensei Steven Seagal said, no one's above the law. Don't think so? Google Operation Greylord. And don't get me started on lazy lying lawyers, pretender defenders, charging large fees for delay tactics and loan modifications. You see, with no help from the government or lawyers, you're forced to navigate a mortgage fraud and foreclosure rescue industry inundated with traps, pitfalls, and swindles to avoid. From crooked lawyers to corrupt judges to so-called sovereign citizens peddling patriotic pipe dreams and legal fairy tales to swindlers selling scam securitization audits. Imagine paying $3,000 for an audit that's got gibberish like this. The chain of title is a possible fraudulent chain. Thus, the note itself backing the debt both could possibly be considered fraud. FYI, guy, the note does not back the debt. The note evidences the debt. Or what about on page 26 where it reads, although the chain of TT, chain of ownership, possibly not perfected, which creates argument against anyone trying to foreclose. Original note must be in the possession of the foreclosing entity in order to foreclose, according to the case Glaske versus Bank of America. I got 100 of your audits down here and they're all covered in Glaske. Glaske? Who gives a shard about Glaske? I got bad news for you, pal. The banks are allowed to bring in lost note affidavits to foreclose. So if you want to talk about Glaske, go watch the Foreclosure Defense Tactics post-Glaske video created by CFLA at fraudstoppers.org/videos. And by the way, audits shouldn't contain legal conclusions of law unless they're created by a lawyer qualified to do so. But for crying out loud, if your audit contains legal conclusions, the least you could do is make sure they're accurate and up to date. Because if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, pal.
Now you listen to me, jerk off. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Quit being part of the fucking problem and put the other guy back on.
Now, talk about misgendering matters being part of the problem. Look on page 4 where it reads, at the request of William Morelli, the examiner conducted an examination of the documents that she presented in connection with the loan that she obtained from Bank United. First off, I'm pretty sure Mr. Morelli is a man because he sounded like one when he called our office looking for a real audit. Nevertheless, he, she, they, them, Never make an admission to a contract of indebtedness. Let your opponents prove everything. Don't do their job for them. Where do they learn to make audits like this? In some Panama City sailor want a hump bar? Or is it first day at kindergarten in California and they forgot which bathroom to use? Go sell crazy somewhere else, Sean. We're all stocked up here.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Thanks for the tip.
Regardless, what's worse, banks committing mortgage fraud, servicers stealing homes, scammers selling fake audits, or bureaucrats giving bailout to bankers who belong behind bars? What is all of the above for $1,000? Bingo, baby! Listen, I'd like you to do me a favor and put yourself in a position of the average person facing foreclosure. What are your options? You could try to sell your house before you run out of time. That's if you have enough equity. Then again, if you don't, your mortgage company will have to agree to a short sale. But there's a good reason why they would rather foreclose on you than do something like that. On the other hand, if you want to save your house,
You could beg your bank for a loan modification or repayment plan.
but again, there's a good reason why they would rather foreclose on you than do something like that. And don't take my word for it.
The country's largest mortgage servicers have been battered in the headlines and on Capitol Hill for allegations of robo-signing and using fraudulent documents to foreclose on homeowners. But that could be just the tip of the proverbial iceberg with the servicing industry. A little reported and little understood aspect to the foreclosure crisis, claim consumer advocates, is that foreclosure is in fact a lucrative profit center for the servicers who are making millions off a laundry list of fees. The banks who service home loans dispute this, but we've been talking to homeowners across the country who say their servicers pushed them into foreclosure instead of working with them to modify their loans.
Now, as a last resort, you could try the bankruptcy band-aid, keys for cash, or just walk away from your happy little home. Listen, folks, if none of these options sound good to you, then Fraud Stoppers has what you're looking for. Did you know if there's fraud in a loan, the loan could be declared null and void, and the victims of the fraud could sue for monetary damages? Did you know that in a mortgage fraud lawsuit, you don't sue for what you were defrauded out of? Instead, you could sue for what you would have been defrauded out of if the fraud had ran its entire course, which in the course of an average mortgage is 30 years, right? Right, but you don't sue for that amount either. Instead, you sue for 3 times that amount, or treble damages. For example, in a $300,000 MERS mortgage at 6%, you might be able to sue for around $1.9 million. David and Crystal Holmes sued Wells Fargo for fraud, and they won $2.9 million, plus quiet title. They got $3 million in a free house. Would something like that motivate you, Mary? Yeah, but my lawyer said no one gets a free house. Oh yeah? Well, who's your lawyer? Some hitchhiking loser selling 7-minute abs?
You heard of this thing, the 8-minute abs?
Yeah, sure, 8-minute abs. Yeah, the exercise video. Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, this is gonna blow that right out of the water. Listen to this. 7-minute abs.
Here's a Mary you should know about. Mary McCauley in Montana sued U.S. Bank for foreclosure fraud and won a $5 million settlement. Maybe you should hire her lawyer.
Hi, I'm Mary. And I'm Jennifer. Are you looking to save your house from foreclosure using the help of an affordable and competent attorney? Or are you thinking about doing it yourself? Pro se, so you can save money in legal fees? Or maybe you want a combination of the two, so you can save money and get the help you need. Whether you're looking to stop your foreclosure sale, reverse a foreclosure sale, negotiate a loan modification or short sale, sue for quiet title or wrongful foreclosure, Fraud Stoppers has what you need. Now you can take advantage of our nationwide network of foreclosure attorneys, realtors, investors, pro se products and services, with our easy, non-credit-based financing and affordable monthly payment plans. Plus, we're having a huge sale to celebrate our new products and services. Getting started is easy. Just take a second and click the Get Started Now button. We'll call you right away to help you find an effective and affordable way to save your house. But don't wait too long, because in foreclosure, the sooner you get started, the more options you have. So get started right now and register for your free consultation. Get the help you need to save your piece of the American dream. Until then, take care. Bye.
Look, finding fraud in loans is easy. According to a federal audit, 83% of the mortgages examined contain legal violations and errors. Did you know these legal violations could stop a foreclosure dead in its tracks? It's true. In fact, it only takes $35 worth of errors to stop a foreclosure sale. But again, don't take my word for it.
If you've ever signed a mortgage, you know it's lots of pages of small type. You're told to sign here, initial here, and then you walk away confused. But the experts say in most cases, the documents contain errors, and even the smallest mistake can give someone in foreclosure the upper hand.
All I need to find is $35 worth of mistakes to cancel a mortgage in defense to a foreclosure.
$35.
That's correct.
How easy is that to find?
It is very easy to find.
Too good to be true? Ask the Mosby family. Foreclosed on, they contested using the Federal Truth in Lending Act, won in court, and in an extreme case of turnabout, they were awarded their house mortgage-free.
I just never imagined that it would end up like this, ever.
As seen on TV, 60 Minutes aired an episode called The Next Housing Shock that exposed the fact that banks and servicers are not only missing documents, but they've been caught red-handed forging fake signatures on counterfeit documents to illegally foreclose on innocent homeowners.
In my mind, this is an absolute intentional fraud.
Lynn Simoniak is fighting foreclosure, and while trying to save her house, she discovered something we did not know. Back when Wall Street was using algorithms and computers to engineer those disastrous mortgage-backed securities, it appears they didn't want old-fashioned paperwork slowing down the profits.
This was back when it was a white-hot, fevered pitch to move as many of these as possible.
When you could make a whole lot of money through securitization, and every other aspect of it could be done electronically, keystrokes. This was the only piece where somebody was supposed to actually go get documents, transfer the documents from one entity to the other. And it looks very much like they just eliminated that step altogether.
Simoniak's mortgage had been bundled with thousands of others into one of those Wall Street securities traded from investor to investor. When the bank took Simoniak to court, it first said that it had lost her documents, including the critical assignment of mortgage, which transfers ownership. But then, there was a courthouse surprise.
They found all of your paperwork more than a year after they initially said that they had lost it.
Yes.
Did that seem suspicious to you?
Yes, absolutely. And what do you imagine? It fell behind the file cabinet? Where was all of this? We had it, we own it, we lost it, and then more recently, everyone is coming in saying, hey, we found it. Isn't that wonderful?
But what the bank may not have known is Lynn Simoniak is a lawyer and fraud investigator with a specialty in forged documents. She has trained FBI agents.
Did you ask for copies of those documents?
Yes.
And what did you find?
When I looked at the assignment of mortgage, and this is the assignment, a copy from my case, I looked at even the date they put in, which was 10/17/2008, was several months after they sued me for foreclosure. So what they were saying to the court was, we sued her in July of 2008, and we acquired this mortgage in October of 2008. It made absolutely no sense.
Curious, she used her legal training to go online and researched 10,000 mortgages.
Then I began to find the strange signatures.
One of the strangest signatures belonged to the bank vice president who'd signed Simoniak's newly discovered mortgage documents. The name is Linda Green, but on thousands of other mortgages, the style of Green's signature changed a lot, and even more remarkable, Simoniak found that Linda Green was vice president of 20 banks, all at the same time.
All within the same week. I mean, this is a very, very active person.
As demand exploded, docs needed more Linda Greens.
So you're Linda Green?
Yes. Can't you tell?
The Next Housing Shock was a major contributing cause to the creation of Fraud Stoppers. You can watch the entire episode at fraudstoppers.org/videos.
Hi, I'm Jason and welcome to Fraud Stoppers, the company dedicated to fighting fraud closures. We find ourselves living in a time where banks and mortgage lenders have been caught red-handed, engaged some rather nefarious practices like committing mortgage and appraisal fraud, creating fraudulent loan and foreclosure documents, robo-signing fake and forged signatures. You may find yourself in a situation with Countrywide, Bank of America, Chase, Nation Star, Wells Fargo, HSBC, or maybe one of these companies. If so, there is a good chance your loan contains error, legal violations, breaches of contract, and fraud. Now, I'm sure you're looking for the most affordable and effective options available, correct? No worries, we've got you covered. With our easy non-credit-based financing and affordable payment options, you can fight foreclosure without breaking your bank.
Hi, Esther Goldberg in the sales department to celebrate Fraud Stoppers National Launch. We're having a sale with deep discount prices and special financing offers. We're talking about saving you some serious loot, baby. But I have to warn you, you better hurry because this party won't last forever. So what are you waiting for? A personal invitation? Well, you got it. You're invited. Now, would someone please get me another martini? It's happy hour.
Getting started is easier than inviting Esther to the company Christmas party. Just go to www.fraudstoppers.org and click the Get Started Now button right here. Then just fill out this form, click the Submit button, and one of our agents will contact you right away to conduct a free, confidential fraud analysis to help you determine what your best option to saving your piece of the American dream is. It's as easy as that.
David and Mary Ellen Wolf sued Carrington Mortgage in Texas for filing fake documents to illegally foreclose, and they won $5.3 million in damages. So let me ask you this. If some servicer was trying to steal your house using robo-signing, would you do anything to try to stop them? Adanya Castro in South Florida did. She saw suspicious signatures on her mom's mortgage and sued for robo-signing. She walked away with a mortgage-free house.
Adanya Castro is headed to her attorney's office, victorious after waging a 2-year David and Goliath type struggle to save her mom's home from foreclosure.
The mortgage got wiped out.
It appeared to have been forged signatures on some of those documents. The moment that we brought that information to light and we brought it to the judge, the parties resolved the case. And in that particular case, the bank agreed to forgive her entire mortgage debt.
If you're the victim of mortgage fraud, then you have an obligation to do something about it. Because read the borrower's covenant in your mortgage or deed of trust, and you'll read borrower warrants and will defend the title to the property against all claims and demands subject to any encumbrances or record. So, if you have a broken chain of title, slander of title, or quiet title issue, filing a lawsuit in our book reflects your personal duty as an American homeowner. Miguel Cabrero in Pomona, California sued Universal Mortgage for quiet title, and he saved his piece of the American dream, and so can you if you decide to take action. So let me ask you this. What if you knew for a fact that the law entitled you to financial compensation for fraud, clear and free title to your home, or better, both? Would you stand up and claim what's rightfully yours? If so, join Fraud Stoppers today because we have a proven way to help you save time and money while increasing your odds of success guaranteed. Here's how. First off, we'll conduct a free fraud analysis to uncover legal violations in your loan and determine how much monetary awards you qualify for. Your free fraud analysis only takes 24 to 48 hours, and as soon as we're done, we'll conduct a potential cause of action consultation call to discuss what legal violations exist, what legal options exist, what your desired goal is, and how much time, money, and effort you can invest to get that goal. This way, you'll get a full spectrum analysis of all your loan and legal options. You'll get all your questions answered and get cutting-edge legal information and advice, and hopefully we'll help you formulate an effective and affordable strategy to get the justice that you deserve. When you join Fraud Stoppers today, you'll get instant access to powerful administrative documents that can stop a foreclosure sale, lay the groundwork for a mortgage fraud lawsuit, and possibly eliminate your mortgage using federal law. These easy-to-use, step-by-step administrative documents can buy you time and help you get the material facts and evidence that you need to win.
Have you ever wondered if your loan contained legal violations or fraud? Have you ever thought about suing your bank for fraud? If so, join Fraud Stoppers right now and you'll get a mortgage fraud investigation and a turnkey federal lawsuit, plus administrative documents, tort letter to stop a foreclosure, till a rescission letter, loan modification documents, bankruptcy documents, FBI bank fraud documents, and more. Join now at www.fraudstoppers.org/PMA.
To get started, simply open a case file in our CRM system called LendingWise, then add your information and documents, and you're done. Your free fraud analysis includes a Bloomberg securitization search and trust verification to see if your loan qualifies for a Bloomberg securitization audit. Because I'll let you in on a little secret here. Not all loans qualify for a Bloomberg audit. Bloomberg audits are only for loans between 2000 and 2010 or so, because newer loans don't report the loan level data and trust information to Bloomberg anymore. The banks blocked Bloomberg access when they realized we were using a Bloomberg terminal to terminate their fraud. Also, Bloomberg audits won't work for GSE loans or government-sponsored entities, including Fannie and Freddie, which we call the two-headed dragon, their sister Sally, VA, Farmers, USDA, and any loans placed in private trust shipped offshore to places like the Cayman Islands that aren't reporting to the SEC or Security Exchange Commission. So don't get swindled by some California con artist selling a scam securitization audit until we look at your loan first, because if we can't create a Bloomberg audit for you, no one can. Our Bloomberg auditor has worked on more than 10,000 audits and conducted more than 1,000 hours of certification training for attorneys and auditors on how to conduct mortgage securitization audits. He's the best Bloomberg auditor in America. In fact, when he came over to Fraud Stoppers from CFLA, he created the country's first and only Level 4 Bloomberg securitization audit. Our Level 4 audit can include the CUSIP numbers and payment stream info for the actual certificate holders of the trust, and the REMIC 424B5 prospectus supplement, pooling and servicing agreement, credit default swap info, robo-signing analysis, and a full chain of title breakdown. And it comes with a signed and notarized affidavit from the #1 Bloomberg auditor in America. Our auditors supervised expert witness testimony and staff auditors like Michael Carrington, and some of his students have produced audits for the biggest winning cases in the country. But again, not all loans qualify for a Bloomberg audit. So if he marks your file QC denied for quality control denied, there's a good reason. Now, if that happens, don't worry, because we have a workaround. Our private investigator, through a banking insider, can get the loan level data and the trust information to create a chain of title analysis, or CODA, CODA for loans that don't qualify for a Bloomberg audit. Now, the CODA costs more money than a Bloomberg audit due to the increased cost to source the data, but it's a better product because it's made by the person who created the first true finding Bloomberg audit back in 2010. Back in 2010, CFLA was the only company doing true forensic audits for mortgage loans, and Marla Giddens was conducting certification training. CFLA built the entire industry from the ground up, but back then there was no Bloomberg loan find function, so our investigator would first search ABSNet platform to find a loan and then input the data into the Bloomberg terminal to find a trust. This was a two-step process. This data was highlighted using a red outline border that's still in use today. So he's not just the SOB or son of a biscuit who started it all. He's the original Magnum PI of mortgage fraud. He's a licensed and bonded private investigator, an officer of the court who carries a badge and a gun, and he's available for fact testimony and depositions nationwide. He's successfully testified in courts nationwide, including in a federal bankruptcy court where he won clear and free title to his own property. The judge in that bankruptcy court was a former law professor who previously taught UCC and agreed with our investigator's expert analysis regarding the alleged holder of his note not having a properly perfected lien and resulting in the property being declared unsecure. So he walked away with a free home. By the way, he has a fiduciary responsibility to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So you better be able to handle the truth, because if he turns down your file for any reason, it's not bad news, it's good news, because knowing the truth can set you free from costly mistakes and scams. Now, if your loan doesn't qualify for a Bloomberg audit or CODA, we can look for other violations beyond securitization and chain of title issues, but we like to start here first because that's the elephant in the room. Are there violations of federal UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, and local laws of jurisdiction regarding the improper negotiation, transfer, and delivery of the mortgage loan contract throughout the securitization process that could have resulted in a loss of legal rights over the collateral because the alleged holder of your note doesn't have a properly perfected lien? Are they the holder of the note in due course with rights to enforce? These are major material facts that matter. Listen, if you got a loan to buy a home, you sign two totally distinct documents. One is the promissory note, the other is the mortgage or deed of trust. The promissory note is a loan agreement. It's a promise to pay, like an IOU. It describes the terms of the loan. $100,000 and 6% for 30 years gives you a monthly payment of $599.55. It says you're borrowing money to buy a house, basically. Now, the mortgage or deed of trust, on the other hand, is a security instrument or lien. It states you pledge your property as collateral for the loan. So if you don't pay back the loan, the bank can take your home. After all, that's what foreclosure is, an alternative means of collection on a defaulted loan obligation. Now, the mortgage and loan come together to create a mortgage loan contract, and they're supposed to stay together while they're sold or transferred down the daisy chain. Lots of people, however, misunderstand or misquote the 1872 Supreme Court case Carpenter v. Longin, which states the note and mortgage are inseparable, the former as essential, the latter as an incident. An assignment of the note carries the mortgage with it, while an assignment of the latter alone is a nullity. Now, in reality, what this case is saying is that transferring the note also transfers the mortgage because they're intertwined. Transferring the mortgage without the note would be useless because the mortgage relies on the note to have value. But who cares? Because in 1872, we didn't have securitized mortgages, credit default swaps, or diabolical derivatives. You see, in 1872, you got a real mortgage, like in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, where the banks loaned you real money backed by gold, and when you paid off the loan, you had a deed burning party to celebrate clear title to your home.
Martini! You rented a new house? Rent! You hear what he said, Mr. Bailey?
What's that?
I own the house. Me, Giuseppe Martini, I own my own house. No more we live like a pigs in this pot of steam.
One more. Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home.
Bread, that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
But traveling back to the future, you'll see we're not in Kansas anymore. Because back then, banks could be a commercial bank and an investment bank at the same time. So they got greedy and gambled customers' deposits on the stock market. And in 1929, the stock market crashed, contributing to the Great Depression, where millions of munchkins died of starvation. So we were off to see the Wall Street Wizard of Oz for all the wonderful things he does. And in 1933, Congress, trying to protect the munchkin from the wicked wicked banks of the West passed the Glass-Steagall Act, making it a felony for banks to be a commercial bank and an investment bank at the same time. So, for nearly 70 years, what the banks are doing today was a felony. Boy, those were the days.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew when you were there.
Dance for girls and men, women.
But boys and girls, as we travel back to the future, I got some bad news for you. Because in 1999, Congress and Clinton repealed the Glass-Steagall Act, releasing the Krakens on the Munchkins. And 8 short years later, the entire economy crashed again.
I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do.
You will believe in more than that before I finish with you.
Now, you'll believe more than that when I'm finished with you, because this time bankers didn't jump off buildings or have houses heaped on their heads. Instead, they got golden parachutes so they could fly off with the American dream. Now, if you want to tap your heels and get back to Kansas, you need to understand that in a table-funded mortgage-backed security transaction, the alleged borrowers signed a note in the capacity of an accommodation party. You see, we don't have common law mortgages anymore. Modern mortgages are regulated by the Uniform Commercial Code, and under UCC, an accommodation party is a guarantor or co-signer. Just like if you co-sign for somebody to buy a car, you're not the actual borrower, you're just co-signing for the loan. So to wake up from this fairy tale, you need to realize that the alleged borrowers are not bona fide borrowers after all, because in a table-funded mortgage, a sponsoring bank funds the loan on behalf of the trust that the debt's scheduled to be put into. The sponsoring bank funds the loan for the trust, and the pretender lender receives a commission. The pretender lender is not a real lender. They're like a loan officer. They don't give money, they get money. They get a commission called the service release premium. Very few people know about the service release premium because it's not regulated by RESPA, the Real Estate Settlements Procedures Act, so it's not listed on the HUD-1 settlement statement. Nevertheless, in a table-funded securitized loan, the note is pledged as collateral in the warehouse line of credit financing agreement between the loan originator and the sponsoring bank funding the loans for the trust. But if they never loaned you money, then the contract would be void ab initio, or from the beginning, because the mortgage cannot exist in law without an underlying indebtedness between the two parties to the contract. If you never loaned me money, and I don't owe you money, then why or how could I actually pledge my property to you as collateral for a loan that doesn't even exist? Listen, in a securitized mortgage, the purported lender named on the note doesn't accept your note for value, deposit it with the custodian or the Fed for safekeeping, and then loan you real money out of their FDIC federally insured account. Trust me, that transaction does not happen. That's a good old-fashioned common law mortgage. Now, if you want to get a brief history of all this from 1872 to present, read our free ebook called Foreclosure Traps, Pitfalls, and Swindles, How to Set Them and How to Avoid Them. Maybe some of these judges think that's the type of mortgage they're ruling on, a good old-fashioned common law mortgage. But maybe some of them should do some CE or continuing education on Uniform Commercial Code. Regulation Z states that banks cannot loan credit. They can only loan money. So the real question is, who's loaning the money? We're not going to go down this rabbit hole right now, because you can watch our video called UCC Revised Article 9 and Liens on Real Property, or read our paper called Why You Should Never Make an Admission to a Contract of Indebtedness if you want to research this more on your own later. Or better yet, watch the 5-hour mini documentary called The Con if you want to get a complete unified theory of the largest conspiracy and banking heist the world's ever seen. If you haven't seen The Con, watch it. If you have seen it, watch it again at fraudstoppers.org/videos.
I'm neither an economist or a scholar. I'm just an average American who lost my home and very nearly my family to foreclosure when the market imploded. And I've spent almost every day since trying to find out why. Once the dust settled, it quickly became clear that my story was no different than millions of other Americans. We all thought that we were alone. We all thought that we'd failed. But none of us really knew why.
With a gun in her hand, Addie Polk apparently shot herself in the chest as deputies were knocking on her door with eviction papers in hand.
This dramatic increase in mortgage fraud cases was the canary in the mine. It was the warning.
This was money chasing people. This was not somebody looking for a loan.
It was all designed to maximize profits for all of the different players.
The person who sold you a loan
made more money if they sold you a higher rate loan.
They were sold a lie.
They're selling to their very clients these loans that they know are a disaster.
I lost my home not because of money, because of fraud.
I don't believe Addie Polk took out the mortgage on her home. I don't believe she signed any documents.
They just generated all this junk, took home huge bonuses, and then when it collapsed, they said, oh, not us.
This notion that the financial crisis there wasn't fraud and there wasn't crime is absolutely wrong. It's dead.
They were targeting, in many cases, minorities.
We were waiting for the leadership to say, go. That never happened.
The investigation was suppressed.
This was all part of the same puzzle that was falling apart.
This is the largest conspiracy of lies in the history of the world.
This investigation has just begun.
But for now, just understand we're arguing the mortgage is void ab initio, or back to the beginning. Moreover, the movement of the debt down the daisy chain, from party A to B to C to D, off to C to Wall Street Wizard of Oz, results in a loss of legal rights over the property. The IRS requires 2 bona fide transfers of the mortgage loan contract in between the originator and the trust, so the trust is bankruptcy remote from any upstream litigation. From the originator, party A, to the sponsor, party B, to the depositor, party C, and then to the trust, party D. Furthermore, state statutes and local laws of jurisdiction require transfer of interest in real property be recorded at public records, but we almost never see the correct chain of custody recorded in public records compared to when we track and trace the transfer from the closing table to the trust, which could create a controversy for the courts that could challenge standing to foreclose.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And in the end, perception can matter more than the truth.
My understanding is that generally, the requirements set forth in the pooling and servicing agreements were not followed, and they were not followed in the following way. Pooling and servicing agreement says that there has to be when the notes are transferred to the trust, there needs to be an endorsement in blank to the trust, as well as a complete chain of endorsements for all preceding transfers. That means that the originator of the loan has to have a specific endorsement transferring it to the securitization sponsor, the sponsor to the depositor, and then the depositor in blank to the trust. What I am told is that in the majority of cases, that chain of endorsements is not there. There's simply a single endorsement in blank. That creates a problem because it does not comply with the trust documents. That is a severe problem because most pooling and servicing agreements are trusts that are governed by New York law, and New York law says if you are not punctilious in following the trust documents for a transfer, the transfer is void. Doesn't matter if you intended it, it's void. That transfer is void even if the transfer would otherwise comply with law. And if the transfer is void, that would mean that the trust did not own the mortgages and therefore lacks standing to foreclose. It's axiomatic that in order to bring a foreclosure action, the plaintiff must have legal standing. Only the mortgagee has such standing. Thus, problems like various types of false or faulty affidavits, as well as backdated mortgage assignments, and altered or wholly counterfeited notes, mortgages, and assignments all relate to the evidentiary need to prove standing.
What can we believe in? There's nothing we can trust anymore.
So they decided to create a shell company that would pretend to own all of the mortgages in the country. That way they would never have to pay another fee for recording an assignment as those mortgages changed hands in the process of securitization.
You can trust Fraud Stoppers because we find violations and errors in 9 out of 10 loans we examine. We find violations at the closing table, while the loan is transferred to the trust, and at the end of the money trail in and out of the trust. So trust me, there's a really good chance your loan qualifies for litigation and compensation. Not to mention the fact that if your mortgage is in MERS, the Mortgage Electronic Registration System, then the wet ink signature loan documents were converted into electronic files and most likely destroyed. So chances are whoever's claiming to be the holder of your note doesn't have the original documents or a properly perfected lien, which could be a major problem if you declare the debt as unsecured on Schedule F in bankruptcy, because the Bankers Association testified to the Florida Supreme Court in case number 09-1460 that, quote, the physical loan documents were deliberately destroyed to avoid any confusion upon their conversion to electronic files. Sounds reasonable. Destroy evidence to avoid any confusion. Capiche? Regardless, we don't care if they have the wet ink signature note or not, because we want to examine the latest copy of the note and then track and trace the debt down the daisy chain, looking for violations of UCC and local laws of jurisdiction. Look, a foreclosure case is a breach of contract case. The banks are saying that you breached the contract by not making timely payments. To beat back the bank's attack and make them pay you to go away, you have to show how they breached the contract first, or worse.
When I come back, y'all better
not boy, you ain't got no food over here. Come on, homie.
Alright, you tough, right? We're gonna see what's up. I'm gonna be right back.
However you want to get it poppin'. D.A.D. all day.
Whoa, what's up,
Gangsta all day, homie. Poppin'.
You ain't wax your brother, man?
Yeah.
Yo, come here, man. Let me holler at y'all for y'all do something all y'all regret, man. First of all, that's not gangster, man. Y'all know who's really a gangster? Brian Moynihan's gangster. Who? Jamie Dimon's gangster. Yeah, who? Exactly. Y'all don't even know. Brian Moynihan is the CEO of Bank of America and Jamie Dimon is CEO of Chase. They putting families out their home. And this house right here is in foreclosure. Whose house is this?
My house.
This is your house? Your moms know y'all in foreclosure?
Nah.
I bet she don't, man. What y'all beefing about anyway, man?
Kids.
Who cares?
To be honest, I don't know, but it's whatever. That's
Nah. See, you shoot him, he shoots you, you kill him. Banks own these prisons, man, and they get paid from that. So you just putting money in their pocket, man. So y'all need to dead that. Y'all can come to our meeting every Tuesday. You know what I mean? Y'all come there. I'll show y'all how to organize this anger y'all got with the right enemy, bank versus America. Y'all ready to fight these banks?
Yeah, man, I guess so, man.
That's what it is, man. Let me go in here and talk to your mother, try to help y'all save this house.
Hey, yo, good looking out, bro.
No doubt, man.
It's time to wake up and get with the movement. Hear the message in the music now. We can fight back, or we can lay down, or beat back the bank attack and stay proud. They got bailed out, we getting sold out. Some living underwater in their own house. They hear the word foreclosure, they get scared and think it's all over. But nah, the fight just begun. It ain't gonna be easy, but it must be won. Cause Bank of America's bad for America. Congress held hostage, they kidnapped the treasurer. This ain't the dream in the land of America, but we could change that if we stand up together. Demand something better than the status quo. We elect, they neglect, then they have to go. We gon' beat back the bank attack. We gon' beat back that bank attack. We gon' beat back the bank attack. We gon' beat back that bank attack. Set up with the people, yeah, and down with the bank. Those green banks. Set up with the people, yeah, and down with the bank. Those dirty banks. Yeah, it's capitalism, political arcade. Stop the evictions, we picket and blockade. March and rally for social justice. Forged signatures got the robo busted. Do the right thing now, reduce the principle. Job growth, increase residuals. We're solidified, can't divide and conquer. When we fight, we win. The pride to prosper. With people power, we equal the power. Civil disobedience to veto the dollar. Close our bank accounts, oppose their policy. Loan mod programs don't work, it's a lottery. So what do we do when the banks attack? Stand up, fight back. Yeah, and we don't want no cash for keys. We want to enter this catastrophe rapidly. We gon' beat back the bank attack. We gon' beat back that bank attack. We gon' beat back the bank attack. We gon' beat back that bank attack. Set up with the people, yeah, and down with the bank. Those greedy banks. Set up with the people, yeah, and down with the bank. Those dirty banks. Fannie Mae, you can't hide. We can see your greedy side. It's pain for the many, profits for the few. Wells Fargo, we're coming for you. Get your voice back, tell your story. Yell out, this is city life territory. We got the right to the city. Vida Urbana, life in the city. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Stimulus pack, first class Bora Bora. Meanwhile, we staring in the eye of the storm. Earthquakes, hurricanes, trying to hold on. But U.S. Bank, we're here to prove what? We shall not be moved. Only a judge can evict you. You wanna fight for your home? Then we'll fight with you. We gon' beat back the bank attack. We gon' beat back that bank attack. We gon' beat back the bank attack. We gon' beat back that bank attack. Set up with the people, yeah, and down with the bank. Those dirty banks. Set up with the people, yeah, and down with the bank. Those greedy banks. The bank, yeah. Those dirty banks. The bank, yeah. Those greedy banks. The bank, yeah. Those greedy banks. The bank, yeah. Those dirty banks.
Don't waste your time trying the acceptance of deed tactic or locating the indentured trustee agreement with FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulation Authority, because there's better questions to ask, like who actually funded the loan? Who's claiming ownership of the debt? Are they the holder in due course with rights to enforce? And are there any legal violations, errors, or fraud? To help you get the answers to these questions, we need to see the note, the mortgage, and any assignments of mortgage. The mortgage and assignments are recorded in public records, so if you don't have them, get them from your county recorder of deeds office or county land records office. You might be able to get them online, and there's a video on our website that will show you how to do that. Get a copy of everything recorded against the property from the time you bought the house until today, because you might find false or faulty affidavits, backdated assignments, and altered or counterfeit mortgages and assignments, which could give you cause for declaratory judgment, slander of title, or quiet title. Now, your warranty deed is recorded first in public records because it shows that you're the lawful owner of the property and you can legally pledge the property as collateral. But we don't need to see the warranty deed because we already know who the real owner of the property is. It's you. After all, pledging someone else's property as collateral for a loan is called rehypothecation. Rehypothecation should only be done with the full knowledge, consent, and understanding of the true owner, because when assets have been rehypothecated, the original owner may turn into an unsecured creditor and not reclaim the assets during the bankruptcy proceedings. Not to mention, rehypothecation increases the risk of default. If you have a securitized MERS mortgage, the banks create a fatal flaw by rehypothecating the collateral without your knowledge or consent. But to be sure, we need to see the note. The note's not recorded in public records, so if you don't have it, call your mortgage company and ask them to fax you a copy. You can give them our fax number and we'll upload it to your case file for you and we'll send it to you. Our fax number is 800-459-1215. If your mortgage company gives you a hard time, join Legal Shield and have your Legal Shield law firm mail them a qualified written request letter or debt validation letter on their legal letterhead. That almost always works. You can find a free qualified written request letter and debt validation letter at fraudstoppers.org/free. When you join Legal Shield, you'll get instant access to a local law firm for limited attorney support services. Let me ask you this. If you could call a lawyer and get all your legal questions answered and get legal advice without getting a bill in the mail, would you? What if you could have a local law firm mail letters for you or make phone calls on your behalf without getting a bill in the mail? Would you? If so, join Legal Shield today because your membership includes unlimited attorney consultations, phone calls and letters on your behalf, document review, document preparation, will preparation, residential loan assistance, traffic violations and accidents, IRS and tax issues, and more. It even includes 60 hours a year for trial defense on all covered claims. So if the average lawyer charges $250 an hour, this plan could save you $15,000 to $20,000 a year in legal costs. And the best part is this, all your unused hours roll over and accumulate each year. So there's literally no telling how much you could save. In fact, I know someone who's had Legal Shield for 20 years and they have over 1,000 hours available. Imagine having a law firm on call, like on retainer, with hundreds or thousands of hours available for whatever life throws at you. Obviously, that would be worth $1 a day. In fact, there's even a smartphone app for 24/7, 365 emergency situations. So no matter where you're at, you can enjoy the same peace of mind and access to legal support that the wealthy enjoy, but for pennies on the dollar.
All right, so we all understand that our decisions dictate the outcomes of our lives. So what if you had like professional advice before you made any life decision? Wouldn't that almost seem kind of like a life hack? But what if you could press a button and be connected to your very own law firm? Well, what's cool is that there's actually an app on your phone that already exists and does that. And it's Legal Shield. You see, if someone's house is on fire or being broken into, the fire department or police, they don't care where you live or how much money you make. They just get there and do their job. But why is it that whenever someone's livelihood or like possessions or reputation or careers on the line, all of a sudden access to legal counsel is like a privilege and only the top echelon of society gets taken care of? Our mission is to fix this as quickly as possible. So what we've done is we've designed a state-of-the-art mobile app that gives you access to law firms all across the country and 4 provinces of Canada whenever you need them. So let's say that you're leaving your apartment complex and they want to keep your security deposit for some upgrades, but you think you left the place in good condition. Well, here's the deal. Instead of getting mad and wasting your time, tap the app and let the attorneys handle it. Or maybe you're leaving work and someone backs into your brand new car. Well, instead of freaking out, just tap the app and let the attorneys walk you through what to do next. Or if someone needs you to, sign your life away on a contract that looks like your final exam from a college Latin class, instead of pretending like you know what the heck's in it, tap the app and send the contract in to the attorneys and let them translate it for you. See, the concept's simple. Worry less and live more. Instead of paying outrageous amounts whenever it's too late already and you need damage control, we disrupt the model and effectively give you a network of top-rated law firms for you to access not just when you need them, but also when proactively using an attorney could help you avoid a huge headache in the future. Think of us as the Netflix of legal services. Netflix didn't change watching a movie on Friday night. They just made the process a lot easier.
What do you do in the middle of the night, you're sleeping, but police are banging on your door and it's 4 a.m, maybe even detaining you, right? Because that's what happened to me. I was able to push a button, get my attorney on the line with Legal Shield. Even though I was out of state for work, he told me what my rights were, what to say, what not to say to the police. And And not only that, I was able to pass the phone off and clear up a situation that had nothing to do with me. That's peace of mind that you can't put a price on.
I had an issue with a major airline, and instead of going through the hassle of contacting customer service, I went directly to my law firm. Within a couple of days, my issue was completely resolved.
Legal Shield is doing amazing things. They're creating a cultural and economic renaissance. Cultural because they're changing the way people access the justice system.
The best thing about my Legal Shield membership is that even if I have to use it 3 times in the same month, like I have before, it doesn't cost me a dime extra the 3rd time more than it did the 1st.
All right, so while injustice is definitely one of the worst crimes that we face in North America today, one of the fastest growing crimes is actually identity theft. Think about how many times people get new cards sent to them in the mail, or their Facebook's been hacked, and we get all sorts of crazy duplicate messages in our inbox, or the scam emails, or annoying phone calls from robots. It's one of those things that it's like we think only happens to other people until it happens to us. But just like we all lock our doors and have security systems on our home, nowadays the people who are breaking into our house are chilling on a couch eating popcorn on a laptop. So we created an app for this modern day issue as well. See, with this app, ID Shield, your identity is monitored from virtually every angle, from your social security number, credit cards, passports, all the way to your social media accounts. Again, worry less, live more. We don't have time for this. That's why these apps are so crucial.
In this interconnected world, it's nice to know that ID Shield is monitoring my social media.
Honestly, the cell phone's like the remote control to my life. So the fact that people can actually hack into this, get all the information and take it is really scary. And so the fact that I have complete identity theft protection and restoration gives me so much peace of mind.
Now that I have ID Shield, my life is a lot less stressful knowing that if anything happens to my identity, if it's compromised, there's a full team of private investigators that will go to work to fix that issue.
Instead of being another person complaining about current circumstances, we can now be part of a real solution. But it gets even cooler. If the enemy that our membership combats is inequality and injustice, I'd say the enemy that our opportunity combats is debt and lack of fulfillment in the workforce. You know, around 70% of Americans report that they either hate their work or feel completely uninspired on their job. That's a number that we're not okay with accepting. Here's how we work instead. Become a member of Legal Shield and ID Shield, use the apps on your phone, and see just how powerful our services really are. Then tell everyone about them. And whenever they do the same, we'll pay you. Since most people spend money to avoid commercials, we think it's wasteful to pour money into a broken system. Why not instead spend that same money on hardworking, well-deserving people like you and I instead? Uber does it. Refer their app and they'll give you money towards your next ride. It's the same concept.
Every time you refer one of our apps to someone who becomes a member, you get paid anywhere from $60 all the way up to over $280 depending on your level in the company. And you can go out and build a team, just like an insurance broker or a real estate broker. Anytime someone on your team goes out there and refers an app to somebody the same way you did, and that person becomes a member, they get paid and so do you. Anywhere from $20 on the low end, all the way up to over $180. So let's say you've gotten a few promotions, you're now what we call the director position. And I'm a brand new associate on your team. When I go out there and refer this app to somebody who becomes a member, you're gonna get paid over $90. When I go out there and protect 10 people, you made over $900 with one Kevin on your team. What if you had 10 Kevins on your team? We also have an opportunity to earn bonuses for moving fast, and we have the ability to earn residual income, meaning we can get paid month after month, year after year for the life of the membership.
So you get paid for what you do, what your team does if you have one, and arguably the best part is you continue to get paid for the life of that membership. That means that if you market a membership to someone and they keep it, you're gonna get paid a percentage of that membership every single month. Feeling inspired now?
Because of the business that Legal Shield has allowed me to create, now I get to spend more time with the family.
I love that I have the opportunity to really choose who I get to partner with. And the personal development has been huge. Constantly working on myself and helping to inspire and motivate others has been really meaningful in my life.
Listen, what this opportunity has done for me as an individual is it's grown me as a leader, but it has allowed me to earn the kind of income based on my efforts to travel when I want, where I want, to be my own boss and to build a team and a family seeking the same kind of dreams that I have based on their efforts as well. I can't think of a better opportunity that I've seen in my lifetime to grow myself and my future.
Today, I build my business and generate paychecks from the palm of my hand no matter where I am. This finally fits into my schedule and works around my priorities instead of the other way around. It's like I'm part of a family culture where the people who I work with care about my future and not just the bottom line. It's like a culture of people over profits and morals over margins. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, we're on to something big. Our mission of providing equal access to liberty and equality, that's something our country needs now way more than ever. And to have the chance to actually make a living while making a difference, that's not something that comes around every day. When most people dread Monday and just live for the weekends, it is, I'm telling you, so refreshing to actually be passionate about what you do. See, we want to be the change that our society needs to see today, to put a stop to injustice and prejudices in our community, to take control of our identities and not have to worry about the dangers online, to get rid of the lingering stress of debt and finally have the peace of mind that we all deserve so we can actually enjoy our lives instead of stressing about how to pay the bills in the bank. The country is ready for what we have right now. The only question that's left is, are you in?
Plus, if you're pinching pennies right now, don't worry because your Legal Shield membership includes a one-stop shop buyers club for awesome discounts on everyday expenses, including cell phone, internet, cable, groceries, gasoline, pet supplies, office supplies, travel, entertainment, and a whole lot more. So join Legal Shield today and take advantage of the collective buying power of millions of people so you can save money on things you're already paying for. Plus, the plan is month to month, so you can cancel anytime if you don't like it. But let me ask you this, if you could save $100 a month or so on things you're already paying for, and the policy only costs $30 a month, then the membership's basically free and you're actually making money. So why would you ever cancel anything like that? Listen, whatever life throws at you, call your Legal Shield law firm first to see if they can help you. Especially if you're getting documents, information, or advice online, bounce it off a local lawyer first before you act on it, because that can definitely help you avoid traps, pitfalls, and swindles. You can get Legal Shield right now for only $29.95 at fraudstoppers.wearelegalshield.com or click the Legal Shield button under the resource tab on our website. As soon as you have your loan docs ready for review, open a case file in our system. If you already have a case file open, please don't open a duplicate file because that can interfere with your login credentials and all we're going to do is delete it. To open a file, first select if you're working with a mortgage broker or a referring party. Next, it'll ask you what kind of program you're looking for. Then the lead source, then complete your name, email, phone, cell phone, your cell phone carrier so we can send you text messages if need be, your address, city, state, and zip. Next, tell us more about your scenario or what you're looking for in more detail. Then, click the box that says you agree to join our private members association. The cost is free. Finally, sign the PMA agreement, confirm you're not a robot, and click submit. Now, go check your email inbox or spam folder for your welcome email that contains your login credentials and information on moving your file forward. To log into your case file, go to fraudstoppers.org/login or click the login button on our menu bar. Next, click the blue Manage My Loan button and update the following pages: client info, mortgage info, property info, Q&A, income and expense, and hardship. Listen, when it comes to information and documents, the more the merrier, because our ability to help you depends on what we have to work with. But just keep in mind that our system can auto-populate documents and reports for you, so please ensure any information that you add is accurate. When you're done updating your file with any missing information, submit your loan documents for review. For mortgage loans, we need to see the note, the mortgage, and any assignments of mortgage or deed of trust. For auto loans, student loans, and credit cards, send the original finance agreement and the most recent loan statement that has a loan number. When you send your documents to us for review, please combine them into one PDF file. Name your PDF file like this: Loan Docs John Doe. So, the name of the documents and your first and last name. And please do not send photos of your documents. They will be deleted. We do not accept documents in JPEG format, so don't take a picture of your documents with your cell phone and try to send them to us. We're just going to delete them. We only accept documents in PDF file format. And please, don't upload or send one document at a time. If you have 20 pages of documents to send, combine them or merge them into one PDF file. You can convert documents into PDF file format and combine them for free at smallpdf.com. Or you can fax your documents to us and they'll automatically convert to PDF format. Our fax number again, 800-459-1215. You can also email your documents to docs@fraudstoppers.org, or you can upload them to the docs page of your case file as long as you follow the instructions listed above. Now, to upload docs to your case file, click the Docs tab on your case file, select the document category, select the document type, then add the document. If you have more than one document to add, click the green plus button and repeat until all the documents are added. Now, as soon as we have all the required info and docs, we'll conduct your free fraud analysis for you. The average turnaround time is only 24 to 48 hours. When that's done, we'll schedule your consultation call to discuss your options for remedy. Now, to help you get more facts and figures for your free fraud analysis and to help you get more out of your consultation call, our system can create a free home financial report for you. This detailed report analyzes key financial data with the built-in net present value calculator to estimate a potential lender loss from an executed foreclosure and net investor benefit. It even has third-party integrated tools like automated property value and can auto-populate legal forms like QWRs, Dodd-Frank, profit and loss statements, hardship letters, and more. So with the click of a button, you can auto-populate a loan mod or short sale package and email your servicer signature-ready PDF documents with the built-in e-signature delivery method for rapid turnaround. This free financial report includes a detailed financial analysis, a loan disposition analysis, a market value analysis, summary proposals, auto-populated loan modification documents, supporting document checklists, state foreclosure process, information on how to escalate or appeal a loan modification denial, and links to additional resources. Listen, Treasury and the CFPB have rolled out aggressive compliance requirements, mandating timelines and specific procedures for mortgage companies. This report outlines these requirements and motivates your mortgage company to play by the rules in order to avoid federal fines and penalties, surprise audits and escalations, and possible litigation. It includes a breakdown of your state foreclosure laws, including judicial versus non-judicial, estimated foreclosure timeline, right of redemption period, and deficiency judgment guidelines. Plus, it calculates key financial data and new loan terms based off standard and principal reduction approaches, waterfall guidelines, net present value, debt-to-income ratios, and proposed lender losses. This free report can help you save time and money, streamlining the loan mod or short sale process. So don't pay a lawyer or loan modification company. Simply open a case file, input your info, and request your free copy today.
If you're like me, your favorite F word is FREE. Now you can get a free loan modification and save your home from foreclosure. Just go to www.fraudstoppers.org to get your free loan modification today and save your piece of the American dream for the future. Until then, cheers!
Look, over the past 10 years, we've assembled a top team of industry experts, including auditors and investigators, paralegals and lawyers, credit repair experts, private lenders, realtors, arbitrators, and more. They're all managed by our CRM system called LendingWise. So let's take a minute and explain how the system works and how it can help you, and how it can help whoever's helping you. First off, the software was originally designed for the foreclosure defense and loan mod industry, but it's dynamic enough to support other services like forensic audits, debt settlement, settlement, credit repair, tax settlement, attorney services, private lending, and other professional services. Our system allows you to manage your file and share it with any third-party professionals that are helping you. The built-in pipeline management tool promotes collaboration among all users and departments and timestamps every note, entry, and status change, so you never have to wonder or worry what work's getting done on your file. Because as your file moves through our pipeline process, you're notified at each status change via SMS and email. With our web-based platform, you can upload documents, add notes and questions, view updates, assign tasks and reminders, send emails, access lender directories, and auto-populate free administrative and legal documents. These free administrative and legal documents include error resolution and information request letters for official proof of claim requests, qualified written request letters to uncover and verify accounting errors, debt validation letters to demand inspection of your wedding signature note, tort letters to stop a foreclosure sale, third-party authorization forms, bank-ready short sale and loan mod packages, DIY bankruptcy documents, and more. These free and formal discovery demand documents can buy you time by stopping or stalling the bank's collection efforts, including a foreclosure sale or eviction. They can help you obtain material facts to conduct a more comprehensive investigation. They can help you obtain evidence to exhibit to your complaint, strategically default your opponent, and lay the necessary groundwork for successful litigation. Look, banks and servicers rarely respond according to law and routinely provide phony documents when responding to these administrative documents. So setting them up is easy. Remember, never ask a bank or bureaucrat to do something you expect them to do, but never ask them to do something they're not required by law to do. So if you ask them to do this and they don't do this, you could set them up like Judas to hang themselves. So you're required by law to do this. I'm asking that you do this, but I really hope you don't do this so I can land on you like a ton of tanks and say thank you.
Where's those tank?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And to show our appreciation, we're including a free revolutionary tiller rescission letter that you can use to rescind or cancel your mortgage loan contract under the Federal Truth in Lending Act and United States Supreme Court case Janowski versus Countrywide. The Janowski decision declares the day your rescission notice is mailed, your mortgage loan contract is rescinded or canceled, and your note and mortgage are void and remain void throughout any time period after your notice is sent. So it doesn't matter if the bank's lawyer or the judge doesn't like it, because the United States Supreme Court ruled unanimously, so that's the law. And if the banks want to challenge your rescission notice, they have only 20 days to do so. They got to open a federal court case, and they got to do it in 20 days. That's 20 days from when the notice was mailed, not from when they got it. And I got good news for you. We never see them do this. Instead, all they do is send you back a letter saying something like, you can't rescind this loan because blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's why they're taking out tiller rescission insurance policies now. Maybe they know this tiller rescission party's just getting started, pal.
8 Lincoln 30 to dispatch.
8030, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a wild goose chase over here at Nakatomi Plaza. Everything here's okay. Over. But nobody has no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Look, if you're suing them for fraud and they hold up a photocopy of the promissory note and say that you signed it or something like blah, 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 just say objection. For the record, let the record reflect that no mortgage loan contract exists at this time, Your Honor, because I rescinded that mortgage loan contract under federal law, and here's my evidence for the record. Furthermore, because of their acquiescence, we have a tacit agreement and implied consent, Your Honor. Now, right there could be a nice place to pull over for a federal field trip or interlocutory appeal, depending on what direction you're looking to go on this joyride. If I was in court and the bank's attorney was trying to present a photocopy of the note, I would just ask the judge if I could see it. Then I would say, let the record reflect. I've never seen this document before today, and I definitely never signed it. That's not my signature on here. This appears to be a total counterfeit and a fake, and I fully intend to file felony charges with the local grand jury over this, Your Honor. If they submit a lost note affidavit, move to federal bankruptcy court immediately, because in federal bankruptcy court, you can't bring in a photocopy or a lost note affidavit. You see, federal truth and lending laws are supposed to be front and center in every real estate closing, so you understand the contract you're signing and there's a meeting of the minds. But most likely, the true nature of the transaction was hidden from you on purpose, because the securitization process converts the mortgage loan contract into a security scheme. Now, I'm guessing no one disclosed that to you at the closing, did they? No one disclosed to you that you were co-signing as an accommodation party on a note that's being pledged as collateral in a warehouse line of credit financing agreement, an IRC 1031 like-kind exchange transaction between the originator and a sponsoring bank. So fraud in the inducement and fraud in the concealment causes of action are common in our complaints, along with breach of contract, breach of fiduciary responsibility, slander of title, quiet title, lack of standing to foreclose, intention and infliction of emotional harm, and violations of RESPA, TILA, and HOPA, just to name a few. I bet they never disclosed to you that they were converting your note into a mortgage-backed security scheme where the note would be chopped into 1,000 pieces and sold and resold on some Wall Street scheme, irrevocably breaking your chain of title to where you couldn't even get clear title to your property even if you paid off your house in cash or bought the house with cash and never even had a mortgage to begin with.
Only on Wink tonight, the tables are turned. Instead of Bank of America foreclosing on a home, a homeowner has deputies foreclose on the bank.
Bank of America filed foreclosure papers on a homeowner who didn't owe a dime. They paid for their house with cash.
Renee Stoll live at the Bank of America branch on Davis Boulevard in Naples with this story you'll see only on Wink tonight.
This is about a family who fought back and won. Their foreclosure nightmare started when they bought a house in the Golden Gate Estates owned by Bank of America. Like you said, they paid cash, so they never had a mortgage. Well, Bank of America fouled it up somewhere along the lines and actually tried to foreclose on the family. And what happened today, you're just going to have to see to believe. Movers, a truck, and an armed deputy, all while a nervous homeowner stands by and waits. This is normally what you'd see when a person's being foreclosed on and their property seized by a bank. But today, it's the other way around.
They've ignored our calls, ignored our letters. Legally, this is the next step to get my clients compensated.
A Collier County judge said Bank of America had to pay Maureen Nairges and her husband's legal fees after the bank tried to foreclose on their Golden Gate Estates property, but they paid cash. The courts agreed they never had a mortgage to begin with. After more than 5 months, the bank still hadn't paid up. So the homeowner's attorney did just what the bank would do to get their money, seize their assets.
I instructed the deputy to go in and take desks, computers, copiers, filing cabinets, including cash in the drawers.
Outside the bank, several deputies stood by with movers ready to start hauling out the bank's office supplies and furniture. Inside, the homeowner's attorney was locked out of the bank manager's office by deputies, while the bank manager tried to figure out what to do.
He was visibly shaken. Having two sheriff's deputies sitting across your desk and a lawyer standing up behind them, demanding whatever assets are in the bank, it can be intimidating. But so is having your home foreclosed on when it wasn't right.
After about an hour, the bank finally cut a check.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to run and to hype? It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such, and this is a beat.
if you're serious about getting a legal remedy that the law entitles you to and that you deserve, you need to learn the principles and practices that control our American courts. You got to know the rules, because the only thing that controls judges and lawyers are rules. Nothing else does. When you know the rules, you could have the sheriff help you foreclose on the bank. But how can you win a game if you don't even know what the rules are? What if your opponent's a cheater? What if the judge is in their pocket? What if your lawyer is too? You think you're going to win? I doubt it. Listen, if you go into court pro se and you're legally ignorant, you can count on the court ruling against you out of hand and at every single turn. Just because you're pro se, you can bank on it, Batman. Because banks bribe judges with illegal loans to illegally foreclose on homes. Just ask Janet Phelan, the investigative journalist who was exiled from the U.S. for exposing this corruption. She explains how this is happening and how you can research your judge in an interview that we orchestrated on the Rule of Law radio show. You can watch that interview and download the free forms at fraudstoppers.org/bribes. Frightening financial fraud, Batman.
Foreclosures are frightening. I dare you to gaze into the ruins. But you better hurry. Zombie bankers are coming for you. They want more than just your house. Using deception and fraud, they've devoured millions already. Is justice blind? Who can help you now?
Right, Robin. And if you go into court with a lawyer and you're legally ignorant, your lawyer could screw you royally, Robin, because they represent you. And if they're indifferent, ignorant, or competent, you could end up losing your case, your money, and your house. You could lose it all, like in some sad old country song. So whether you have a lawyer or you don't, you better be legally educated. Look, lawyers are notorious for taking advantage of people. It's not just the banks and scammers defrauding homeowners. Lawyers do too. Why do you think there's so many lawyer jokes? You want to hear one? Here's one. A lawyer, his paralegal, and his secretary are walking to lunch. The secretary sees a bottle and picks it up. And a genie pops out, and the genie says, normally I give everyone 3 wishes, but because you're with this lawyer, I'm only going to give you 1 wish each. Me first, the secretary says. I found the bottle. Okay, what do you want? I want to be famous, rich Hollywood movie star. Poof, she disappears. So the lawyer turns to the secretary and says, go ahead, Betty, you can be next. Well, I want to be young again, and I want to be a beautiful model, and I want to live in Paris. Poof, she disappears. So the genie turns to the lawyer and says, what do you want? He says, I want them both back after lunch. So trust me, before you hire a lawyer, you better know what your lawyer should be doing, what they should not be doing, how to contract with them properly so you can control them, make sure they don't take advantage of you. Plus, you gotta know how to control the bank's lawyer and the judge too. What you gonna do if the judge is a bad boy, breaking the rules? You think your lawyer's gonna rock the boat and risk their career for you? I don't think so. In fact, good lawyers like that are routinely discouraged, disciplined, and disbarred. We should know some of them work for us, but who cares? Because if you're a well-educated pro se, you could be the baddest motor scooter in the entire building because you outrank everyone from the greeter to the governor. You're the only one who can crawl down the judge's throat and drag them in front of a grand jury on criminal charges if need be. And trust me, they don't want you to know that or the real power you have. In fact, Randy Kelton from the Rule of Law Radio filed 17 felony complaints against the Texas governor Greg Abbott for his illegal COVID mandates and sedition against the Texas Constitution. And when Abbott, the wheelchair fellow, finally figured out that 7 times 3 can get him 28, he did a 180 in his wheelchair and rescinded all of his mandates. You can read the felony complaints at fraudstoppers.org/free.
This is a warning to all Wall Street bankers and mortgage loan servicers. It has come to our attention that the mortgage fraud and foreclosure fraud you are currently committing has reached critical system failure levels, and therefore, you must be stopped by any means necessary. Unfortunately for you bankers, this requires kinetic activities, in conjunction with mass civil litigation actions taken, and criminal felony charges filed directly against you with state and federal grand juries. Make no mistake, we cannot be bought, bribed, threatened, or negotiated with. We have awakened to your crimes and illegal attempts to steal our homes through fraud and deception. We have already begun direct action against you. We will continue until you are defeated. We are everywhere. Act accordingly. We are Fraud Stoppers. www.fraudstoppers.org.
Listen, if you want to exercise your legal authority and rights, you got to be educated, because the only rights you have are the ones you know about and that you exercise. Remember, legal rights belong to the belligerent. That's why we recommend How to Win in Court, because it'll teach you how to use evidence rules to easily win your case, affirmative defenses, summary judgment defenses, objections, trial procedures, how to handle witnesses, how to hire a lawyer, how to control crooked lawyers and corrupt judges, effective spoken motions, effective written motions, forms and templates to save you money and legal fees, and much more. You'll even learn inside secrets of sanitizing your case so you can win on appeal, things they don't even always teach you at law school. In fact, if you get a B+ or better on the final exam, I bet you'll know more about how to win your case at trial than someone who just graduated law school. Dr. Frederick Graves, a lawyer with 40 years of case-winning experience under his belt, created this course back in 1997 because he was tired of watching pro ses go into court with good cases, which they should have won, and then end up losing their case only because they didn't know the rules or because the other side would swindle them. So he created the step-by-step course to teach the average person how to win a lawsuit in only 24 hours. How to Win in Court includes audio classroom, video seminars, tutorials, pro se tactics, plus forms for civil cases that can save you money in court costs and legal fees. You see, we teach and preach the blend technique that allows you to save time and money getting your lawsuit started, doing some of the easy parts pro se, while you're getting legally educated so that you can hire a lawyer later if you need one, depending on your desired outcome. Look, lawyers routinely waste clients' retainers doing God only knows what. Then they call them back in a few months asking for more money. Plus, lawyers pay paralegals $20 or $30 an hour to produce legal paperwork. Then they bill you $200 or $300 an hour. But I got good news for you. Fraud Stoppers is a pro se paralegal support company, and we provide legal paperwork for pennies on the dollar. So we can definitely help you save time and money getting started pro se while you're getting the legal education you need to find and hire the right lawyer if and when you need one. If you're looking to hire a lawyer, you better be legally educated first, because if you're looking for a lawyer for mortgage fraud or foreclosure defense, they need to be affordable, available, honest. They need to be competent in UCC, table-funded loans, and IRC 1031 like-kind exchange transactions, and they need to know the fine art of how to lay the case out properly to be won on appeal. Plus, they better not be afraid to poke the bear. Now, that's a pretty good shopping list, so happy hunting.
I've had this problem.
Big problem.
I really needed
A good lawyer.
And I kept searching and searching.
There are so many choices.
It's really hard to find one that has all the things on my list.
But I finally did it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
If you were looking for one as well, look no further.
Here's a really good one.
Just use mine.
Use mine.
I'm very satisfied.
Definitely recommend.
Problem gone.
Thank you.
Now, while you're looking for this amazing unicorn of a lawyer, maybe you should learn how to win in court first, like 31,000 other students already have. Here's a few testimonials. I won using your course. My attorney's in trouble. She won't be doing this to anyone else ever again. I praise not only God, but you, the ethical attorney God led me to. I'm very grateful. I ordered on May 31st, and by June 28th, the lawsuit against me was dismissed with prejudice. I just want to let you know that I won 4 motions in court yesterday. Went to court today and won as a pro se against a silver-tongued, high-profile, powerful attorney. Even the other attorneys in the gallery were buzzing about it. A seemingly gargantuan project to reverse ill feelings and disconnect between the public and the legal community. A simplified course in the basics. Valuable public service. Remember, knowledge is power, but knowledge without action is powerless. So take action today and get the knowledge that you need to win the justice you deserve at fraudstoppers.org/education. Then, after you learn how to win in court, go watch the State Bar Approved workshop videos and learn how to achieve principal reductions with strategic litigation, how to win quiet title, advanced foreclosure defense and bankruptcy tactics, mortgage securitization, and more. You can watch all these videos right now for free at fraudstoppers.org/videos. But we recommend that you start with how to win in court first, so you'll learn the basics. By the way, if you're legally educated and you have someone producing your paperwork and pleadings for you, you could hire an appearance attorney to do some of the legwork too. Appearance attorneys are like independent contractors you hire for one thing at a time, like filing your lawsuit or motions. Now, if they don't have the same level of fiduciary responsibility to you as a normal lawyer would, obviously when it comes to deposing witnesses or giving oral arguments at trial, you're probably going to want to have your primary attorney. But in the meantime, you can save a lot of money and time using appearance attorneys for some of the more mundane activities. To find a list, just go to fraudstoppers.org/appearance. Listen, legal knowledge and education is mandatory because the money masters and their lawyers have been hiding the key of knowledge for thousands of years. From Jesus tossing tables in a temple to President Abraham Lincoln issuing greenbacks, the battle between the money changers and mankind has been raging for millennia. Read Luke 11:52. Woe unto you lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye enter not in yourselves, and them that are entering in ye hinder. Listen, there's a good reason they don't want us to know the truth behind the banking system or the power to control our courts and the rule of law. Henry Ford said it's well enough that the people of the nation don't understand our banking or monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Listen folks, if we don't fight banking fraud and mortgage fraud, we could end up losing more than just our homes.
I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issuance of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around the banks will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. The issuing power should be taken from the banks and restored to the people to whom it properly belongs. Thomas Jefferson, 3rd President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, we're witnessing this dire warning about becoming homeless happening right before our very eyes because banks and servicers are literally stealing homes without the legal standing or documents to do so. In fact, according to University of Iowa legal research study, in nearly 40% of the bankruptcy cases that involve foreclosure, creditors couldn't produce the original documents when demanded.
Produce the note. It's really that simple, 3 little words. And if you think about it, it's kind of astonishing to think that banks are having, in many cases, a difficult time producing the original documentation that homeowners purchase or signed when they purchased a home. But University of Iowa did a study, and of 1,700 bankruptcy cases that had to deal with foreclosures, 40% of them, they couldn't find the original loan documentation.
This is unbelievable to me.
This is how some savvy investors were gaming the system to get properties for free after the 2008 crash. They would put the property on Schedule F as unsecured, and if the banks tried to block them, the investors would simply say, "Show me the note." And when they couldn't, bingo, another free house, baby. You see, because in bankruptcy court, you gotta have the original wedding signature documents. You can't use photocopies. But this might be why the good old Bankruptcy Boys Club has made it hard to find a lawyer to use this strategy. But don't worry, Fraud Stoppers can show you how to strip the lien from your real property for free.
The digital age has closed the gap between information and its accessibility. And it turns out that filing for bankruptcy doesn't have to be as difficult and expensive as it used to be. Introducing Fraud Stoppers, Private Members Association. As a private members association, Fraud Stoppers has helped countless American homeowners achieve financial freedom and the legal remedy they deserve. Fraud Stoppers specializes in cutting-edge foreclosure defense. We offer homeowners state-of-the-art countermeasures to foreclosure with turnkey lawsuit and evidence packages designed to help you get clear and marketable title to your real estate. Fraud Stoppers Private Members Association provides you access to a collection of legal documents and resources that can help you stop a foreclosure sale or eviction, sue your lender for mortgage or foreclosure fraud, get a loan modification, file for bankruptcy, and even fix your credit. By completing the form on our website, you'll get instant access to free bankruptcy documents and other legal documents and information that can help you save time and money filing for bankruptcy without an attorney. So take action right now and get the help you need to save your piece of the American dream. Go to fraudstoppers.org/free bankruptcy documents right now. You'll be glad you did. Cheers.
Look, if you're worried because you're behind on payments, don't be. Listen, if you're nervous because you're facing foreclosure or eviction, don't be. If you feel anxious because you think you're running out of time or options, don't be. Remember, filing the right document at the right time can stop a foreclosure and put cash in your wallet. Remember, the sooner you get started, the sooner you can breathe a sigh of relief, because the wheels of justice turn slowly, and in this economy, that's a good thing. By the way, you know what the difference between a good lawyer and a bad lawyer is? A bad lawyer can drag a case out for years. A good lawyer can drag it out even longer. But don't worry, because with our network of professionals, we got you covered no matter what you're looking to do.
Hey everyone, are you looking to sue your bank for mortgage fraud or foreclosure fraud? If so, you should call Fraud Stoppers right now, because we'll show you a proven way to help you save time and money and increase your odds of success, getting the legal remedy that you deserve. Remember, when the banks break the law, we break the banks. So call us today. Until then, see ya.
So if you want to sue to win, or you want to sue to settle, there's never been a better time to leverage litigation. Kimberly Thomas in Baltimore, Maryland, sued Wells Fargo for wrongful foreclosure, and her jury awarded her $250,000 in special damages, plus another $1 million in punitive damages. Petty cash compared to Eric and Renee Sunquest suing Bank of America and Recon Trust for violating their bankruptcy's automatic stay in order to try to illegally foreclose. They won over $1 million in actual damages, plus another $45 million in punitive damages. The courts forced BOA to pay $46 million just because they wanted to spank the bank. BOA has a long rap sheet of fines and penalties in cases related to its mortgage business, paying more than $11 billion for their foreclosure and mortgage servicing scandals. So if you want to spank the bank, join Fraud Stoppers right now, because it's never too late to get started. In fact, Michelle S. in Glendale Heights, Illinois, lost her property to foreclosure in 2001. I called her in 2016 to see if she wanted to unwind the foreclosure. She did. A motion to quash service was filed, and bingo, a $100,000 settlement. Now look, obviously nobody can guarantee you an outcome like that. In fact, if anyone guarantees you an outcome, don't walk away from them, run away. But having said that, I can't guarantee you this. If you don't take action, you're not going to win. So the question of to sue or not to sue has been settled. The only question to settle is, do you sue to win or sue to settle? Most people don't take their case all the way to trial to win. They sue to settle because it's cheaper, faster, easier, and has a higher success rate than trying to take your case all the way to trial to win. That could take 1 to 2 years and cost $10,000 to $20,000. Suing to settle, on the other hand, could be done in a couple months for a couple thousand. Regardless if you want to sue to win or sue to settle, you got to start off by filing the lawsuit. Now to start, you simply print the complaint and exhibits and sign them in front of a notary public. Usually they have one at the courthouse. You'll need to make a copy of the complaint for the court, a copy for each of your opponents you're suing, and a copy for you. You'll give the complaints to the clerk of the court, and they'll give you a case number and stamp them. And the clerk will keep one for the court, you'll take the rest. Now, you go hire a process server to serve your opponents. Google process servers. They usually charge around $100 or so per service. You can also hire the local sheriff. And if you're suing in federal court and you get the court to waive your filing fees, you could have the United States Federal Marshals serve your opponent for free. After your opponent's been served, they'll have about 3 or 4 weeks on average to file their answer and appearance. To find the specific time frames for your local civil rules of procedure, ask the clerk of the court when you're filing your lawsuit where you can get a copy of the civil rules of procedure. Get a copy and study that while you're waiting for your opponent to respond to your lawsuit. During this time, you should also be studying how to win in court, because it takes 24 to 30 hours to complete the curriculum. So if you study an hour a day, you should be finishing the course right around the time they're supplying their answer. Listen, logically, they're either going to answer your complaint or they're not. If they don't, you can file a motion for default judgment. But don't count on that, because normally they are going to answer your complaint. And how they do that, they file a motion to dismiss under Rule 12b, failure to state a claim which relief can be granted. This way they can try to remove your case to federal court and get you barred by bringing the suit again under res judicata and or the Rooker-Feldman doctrine. Res judicata is Latin for a matter adjudicated, or it's already been adjudicated. Once the court has made a decision, that claim cannot be relitigated between the same parties in a subsequent lawsuit. The Rooker-Feldman doctrine, on the other hand, holds that the lower courts, federal district courts, lack jurisdiction to review and overturn state court decisions. So if you're disappointed with the state court decision, you can't run to the federal court seeking relief. Now, if they file a motion to dismiss, you'll have 3 or 4 weeks to respond. Maybe you want to file a motion in opposition showing that there's genuine issues of material fact and that your case should move forward to trial. Then they'll have 3 or 4 weeks to respond to your motion with an answer or another motion. Bottom line is this: these motions go back and forth for about 3 months because each side's got about 3 or 4 bullets they can shoot at the other guy in this phase. This phase is called the pretrial motion phase. And in the pretrial motion phase, this is where most of the heavy lifting is done in terms of building your case. And this is where you can save a lot of money pro se. You see, in this part, you don't really have to worry about giving legal answers or long-winded oral arguments, because for the most part, you're just filing documents into the record with the clerk of the court. You can even hire an appearance attorney to do this for you if you want. Either way, after all the motions are filed, that's when the judge will finally sit down and read everything and decide whether or not to set your case for trial. Usually the judge won't read everything until you make it past this pretrial motion phase. Why should they waste their time reading your 5,000-page lawsuit if they can just make a ruling based on the civil rules of procedure? For example, if you sue the bank and you serve them and they don't show up and you file a motion for default judgment, the judge can sign that based off civil rules of procedure. They don't need to read your complaint. If the judge sets your case for trial, you'll move into what's called formal discovery phase. And in the formal discovery phase, things can slow down a bit. Discovery could last anywhere from 4 to 8 months, depending on how you use your discovery tools, including depositions, requests for production of documents, and interrogatories, and depending on how your opponent responds to or drags their feet responding to your discovery demands. If you're in formal discovery, you should think about getting the help of a good trial attorney to depose the witnesses and work with your expert witness preparing for trial. Let's face it, deposing witnesses and giving oral arguments at trial is probably above your pay grade, but filing the lawsuit and pushing it through the pretrial motion phase into formal discovery is easy enough for the average person to do, and this is where you could save 40 or 50, maybe even 60% of the overall cost of your litigation. Your lawyer and your fact witness should be thick as thieves if you want to pull off this bank heist, which, from filing your complaint to trial, can take 8 to 12 months, depending on several factors we don't have the time to talk about in this video. If it goes to the appeal, add another 12 to 18 months. Suing to settle, on the other hand, could be done in a couple months for a couple thousand. Now, obviously, if you're suing to settle, don't expect to get a free house and $5 million bucks. But it's possible to get large principal reductions, your interest rates chopped all the way down to maybe as low as 2% fixed, back payments or late payments forgiven, and maybe even some petty cash too. One woman got her loan chopped in half and a check for $24,000. Now, for the average person, that would be a home run. Listen, if your case is in formal discovery and scheduled for trial, you got a higher probability of getting a much better outcome, because when you're in discovery, you represent a real threat to your opponent. So they almost always will come to you at this point and make you an offer to go away. You could expect to get a call from their lawyer saying something like, "My client would like to know what your intentions are." That's code word for "let's make a deal." Because understand, if you're in formal discovery, you represent a real threat to your opponent. First off, because the judge has indicated that you have a good case. After all, that's why it's scheduled for trial. Secondly, more importantly, because nobody knows what you might dig up in discovery. In fact, I heard of a story of one woman who was offered a free house because the lawyers for Wells Fargo accidentally disclosed to her lawyer evidence of an illegal wire transfer into an offshore Cayman Island account. Apparently, while Washington Mutual was in receivership, they illegally sold billions of dollars of mortgages to Wells Fargo, wherein when Wells Fargo executives diverted $100 million into a slush fund account for themselves. Now, when the lawyers for Wells Fargo realized that they accidentally disclosed this to the homeowner's lawyer, they offered to forgive her mortgage if she would drop the lawsuit. She refused. So they came back with another offer and they said, "We'll pay for any house for sale in any zip code in America if you drop your lawsuit." Guess what? She refused. Maybe she didn't know there were homes worth $100 million in America. Or maybe she didn't give a flip and just wanted to be breaking banks like she was Aaron Brockovich.
Counselors?
Counselors? Let's be honest here. $20 million is more money than these people have ever dreamed of.
Oh, see, now that pisses me off. First of all, since the demur, we have more than 400 plaintiffs, and let's be honest, we all know there are more out there. They may not be the most sophisticated people, but they do know how to divide, and $20 million isn't shit when you split it between them.
Aaron.
Second of all, these people don't dream about being rich. They dream about being able to watch their kids swim in a pool without worrying that they'll have to have a hysterectomy at the age of 20. Like Rosa Diaz, a client of ours, or have their spine deteriorate like Stan Bloom, another client of ours. So before you come back here with another lame-ass offer, I want you to think real hard about what your spine is worth, Mr. Walker. Or what you might expect someone to pay you for your uterus, Miss Sanchez. Then you take out your calculator and you multiply that number by 100. Anything less than that is a waste of our time. By the way, we had that water brought in special for you folks. Came from Well and Hinkley.
I think this meeting's over.
Damn right it is.
That's why banks don't like jury trials when they're being sued for fraud, because juries don't like banks beating up on the little guy. And remember, with jury vote juror, you get to pick your jury. You get to ask questions for your potential jurors. And if you're clever and creative with your questions, you could pick your team to overturn the tables on the money changer. After all, juries can give you more than what you're asking for, and I doubt a judge would ever do that.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, on January 4th of this year, my client did indeed visit the Sacasad's convenience store, but he didn't kill anyone. We intend to prove that the prosecution's case is circumstantial and coincidental. Thank you.
And that's why our lawsuits always demand a jury trial. Because we want to have flesh and blood living beings decide who will win. We the people, or the banking oligarchs' fictional corporations. If you want to win, here's what you need to win. The right information, the right documentation, the right evidence, and someone to help you pull it all together so you can stop foreclosure and save your house. It's time to set things straight, so let us help you get the justice you deserve and make money helping others do the same. I made around $15,000 helping Michelle unwind her foreclosure from 15 years ago, and all I did was call her and get her to sign paperwork. And trust me, that's not bad for 30 minutes of work. In fact, it's like $30,000 an hour if you do the math. Now, if you want to make money helping others, we can give you the contacts to call, the contracts to use, and the capital to close. You could start your own real estate investment business today, and you don't need experience, you don't need money, you don't need credit. All you need is the phone numbers to call, the words to speak, and the papers to send. And you can find all that for free at fraudstoppers.org/referrals. Listen, I know a guy named Daryl in Dallas, Texas, who is getting 5 to 10 homes a month for free. He would contact people who already lost their homes to foreclosure, and he would tell them, listen, sign the house over to me so I can sue the bank, and if I win the lawsuit, I'll share some of the profit with you. Daryl would record the deed and then file the lawsuit, and he would put the property up for rent until the lawsuit was settled. Last time I heard, he had about 50 properties paying him an average of $1,000 a month. Imagine making $50,000 a month on homes that you got for free. Now, better than that, I know an investor in Chicago named Joe who's flipped over 2,500 homes. He had 500 lawsuits winding their way through the Cook County Courthouse the last time we talked, which coincidentally was when we worked on this case together.
And our I-Team is investigating foreclosed homes. Buying them, of course, can be a great real estate deal, but tonight our I-Team is finding that you could be at risk of losing that home if there are mistakes in court documents. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles is here to tell us how this can happen. Jason.
Alan, it's known as unwinding when a foreclosure is essentially being reversed because of a problem in documents. It's all based on laws designed to protect homeowners under foreclosure. But what if you bought that foreclosed home? Could you lose it?
My daughter took her first steps just behind where we are.
Maria Post was in complete disbelief when she was served with court papers informing her that she could lose her home in Glen Allen.
It was just scary. My first thought is, are we going to get kicked out of our house and lose it?
Post and her family purchased a foreclosed home, but 5 years later, the previous homeowner was trying to unwind or reverse the foreclosure, saying he was not properly notified or served. In some unwind cases, a foreclosure summons may not properly list every person on the title of the home or the loan.
Technically, every single defendant, even if there's 100 of them, need to be listed in this small caption up here. What a lot of firms were doing in the foreclosure process was, rather than trying to squeeze all those names here, attaching a page to the end of the summons that listed all the named defendants.
Post's attorney and other attorneys who represent new homeowners like her say in recent years they've defended dozens of unwind cases. Many times the former homeowners end up with a settlement from the bank.
The goal of that proceeding is not necessarily to get the property back, but to obtain a cash payment from either the current homeowner or the lender that previously foreclosed on the property.
Most of that unwinding, attorneys say, is currently happening on foreclosures which occurred years ago.
We're not sure if somebody's combing through the court files to find these, or if it's, a network of contacts that, somebody was foreclosed, they inquire further. It's a word of mouth type of situation.
Hey, you! My name is Little Tony, and I'm in the garbage business, as in taking out the garbage, if you catch my drift. Hey, it's not like I'm being subtle here. Now listen closely, because I got a message for you. Turn on those ear holes. If you're currently experiencing a little difficulty with your mortgage, aka you're facing foreclosure, you got 3 basic options. Option 1, you could sit there like a potato and let them steal your happy little home. You gonna do that? I don't think so. You don't look like a potato to me. Option 2, you could sue the bank for mortgage fraud. Now, for option 2, you're gonna wanna call Fraud Stoppers, because they can show you a proven way to save money, save the moolah, and increase your chances for success. And who doesn't like to succeed? Now, I do have another option that I don't usually bring up. You could hire me and the boys for a little shakedown action, or a mock funeral, if you know what I'm talking about here, or a real funeral, depending on how far you're willing to go on this issue. But I gotta warn you, option 3, it's gonna cost you 10 large, and it's a risky. I don't want to mention any names, but the last guy who picked option 3, he got pinched, and now he's doing a dime at Folsom. Not the best place to do a dime. AKA, he's singing the blues like Johnny Cash. And I don't know about you, but I don't like singing. So, do yourself and the family a favor and call the boys at Fraud Stoppers today. Because when the banks break the law, Fraud Stoppers, they break the banks. Now, get out of here. We're all done. I'll see you around.
I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rolling on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head.
Look, if you made it this far in the video, I like you, so let me be blunt. It's true, we'll do a free fraud analysis for you, and there's lots of free resources on our website. But the only reason we're doing a free fraud analysis for you is to see if your loan qualifies for one of our litigation packages. Because at the end of the day, we're a mortgage auditing and paralegal support company. We're basically a sales company that operates in the private sector, and our primary product is a turnkey, quiet title, or wrongful foreclosure litigation package that includes a Bloomberg securitization audit or a chain of title analysis, depending on your loan. It also includes your signed and notarized affidavit, your court-ready complaint or petition for damages, your temporary restraining order to stop a foreclosure sale, the list pendants to cloud the title of the property, all the exhibits and instructions for filing, and how to win quiet title foreclosure defense videos. Your complaint comes complete in about a week, so all you gotta do is print it, sign it, file it. Now, if that's all you did was print it, sign it, and file it, and then you hire a lawyer to come and take over your case, you'd probably still save $4,000 or $5,000 right off the bat. Now, your complaint's based on the facts and the findings of your audit and affidavit. Your audit is signed and notarized under penalty of perjury by an expert who can overcome a motion in limine or voudure. You see, in law, an affidavit stands as uncontested fact. So the fact of the matter is, the only way the bank can overcome your affidavit is with another affidavit. So until they find some fact witness who can testify under penalty of perjury, providing first-hand eyewitness testimony, or who can refute your expert witness, they might as well be singing blah, blah, blah. Now, your motion in order for temporary restraining order, the TRO, can stop a foreclosure sale if one is pending, and it can be altered to stop an eviction too. The list pendants gets recorded against the property's chain of title, usually at the county recorder of deeds office, but sometimes at the local courthouse. List pendants is just Latin for litigation pending. So if anyone does a title search, they'll see the list pendants pointing to your lawsuit. The list pendants can deter any investors or sharks from buying your house at auction. Listen, if your property is scheduled for sale, show up to the auction. When they call your property for sale, stand up and say, "Attention, I have a lawsuit filed against this property, and anyone who buys the property buys the lawsuit too." This should deter anyone from bidding because buyers want clear title and title insurance. Bottom line, it's better if it goes back to the bank as an REO or real estate owned or repo than if it sells to a third-party investor buying it, because if it sells at auction and goes back to the bank as a repossession or a repo, then you might be able to file fast to sue for wrongful foreclosure to stay in the property until your lawsuit's resolved. And I've seen people leverage wrongful foreclosure lawsuits for large keys for cash settlements. People who are already thinking about leaving, we convince them to stay in there and file a lawsuit, jam up the property, and make them pay you to go away. So if you're planning on moving to a new home, you should think about making them pay you to go away. Your legal forms are professionally prepared by a lawyer who previously worked for the federal government in the Security Exchange Commission, SEC. And that guy knows security fraud, trust me. So they're ready to go as they come, they're ready to file. Just keep in mind that at this price point, your complaint covers causes of actions and facts and findings from your audit and affidavit. They don't cover every single cause of action that could possibly pertain to your particular situation. For example, did your mortgage company refuse payments on purpose banks pushing you into default? Or did they misapply principal payments or escrow payments? Did they do dual tracking or pretend to process your loan modification while sneaking the foreclosure in behind your back? These causes of actions are not included in our turnkey cookie cutter complaint, but they can be added for an additional fee, or you can add them yourself because the complaints are sold similar to the legal Zoom model. They come in Word format, so they're very easy to edit. If you don't know what additional causes of actions could be included in your complaint, create a detailed timeline. Having a detailed timeline is extremely important to your case and can help others triage your situation faster to find additional points that are not covered in our turnkey template complaint. You can find a sample detailed timeline in Word format on our free page, or for an additional fee, we can customize your complaint for you. You can even use the free open source AI system called ChatGTP for legal research or to write legal pleadings for you. It's simple to use and only takes a couple seconds to set up a free account at chat.openai.com. So check it out today and use the AI robot to send the bank's lawyers down a million rabbit holes just for fun.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Now, obviously, you know you get what you pay for. So you can pay an attorney $5,000 retainer for God only knows what, or you can have the AI system create some crazy lawsuit for you, or you can get our turnkey litigation package today and save 70% or more getting your party started pro se. In addition to our turnkey litigation package, we also offer a platinum package that includes all of your custom court documents and pleading from complaint to judgment, professional paralegal support, and complete case management, all for just one payment or monthly payments, whichever is best for you. We also provide notice of appeals, appeals brief, and reply briefs too for around 20 cents on the dollar. Listen, if you're filing pro se without a lawyer, you need to fully understand your case and causes of actions, because these legal forms are not a substitute for legal advice from an attorney. If you need any edits or corrections to your legal forms, simply add a detailed note or task reminder to your case file describing exactly what changes you need. We'll do our best to fulfill your request in a timely manner. Our turnkey litigation package can help you start the party for pennies on the dollar, and we have payment options, making it easy for you to get started. We also offer discounts to military, law enforcement, and first responders. Plus, if you have a 550 credit score and a source of income, you might be able to qualify for an unsecured loan to finance your litigation. You can see our products and services at fraudstoppers.org/pricing. If you need additional payment options or rush delivery, call first to see if we can help you. Let me be blunt. Buyers beware, because our service agreement states clearly and boldly in big red letters that all sales are final and that there's no returns or guarantees for legal work product. Again, we're happy to make any necessary edits or corrections because we stand behind our work, but we won't be taken advantage of. In fact, remember William Morelli? Well, he found out the hard way. After he realized his other audit was worthless, he purchased our Bloomberg audit and a motion in opposition to summary judgment. We gave him a discount and a free quiet title lawsuit because he's a veteran. But Bill didn't know that our CRM system recorded every time that he opened his emails. He opened his email containing his work product 13 times. Then he emailed us asking questions and asking for some edits to his work product. We answered all his questions and made his requested edits. Then he decided to deceive Discover Card, claiming he never got his product. So we asked him twice to act like a man and show honor. He refused. So we're taking legal action to get our money back, because we're not communists over here. We're capitalists. We believe in an honest day's work for an honest day's wage. We're all for charity and helping people. We do it all the time, but we don't tolerate liars and thieves. So we're suing him, for breach of contract. Moral of the story, don't bite the hand that feeds you. We're here to help you sue the banks for fraud, but they're not the only ones we'll go after.
Hello, can I help you?
Yes, I wanted to know if I could speak a bit on an accident that I've had.
Yeah, when?
About 2 weeks ago.
What type of accident?
It was a motorbike.
Who was on the bike? You?
Well, just me, right.
What happened?
Well, I had a sidecar on it. You know those things?
Right.
And I was speeding all over my neighborhood.
Right.
Up and down and speeding all over.
Right.
And I was drinking and I lost control of the bike.
Right.
And I was skidded off and slammed a curb in a pole and into some people.
Right.
And, yeah, well, you know, nobody's hurt extremely bad, but a few breaks and things.
So what are you looking to do?
I want to look for some consultation what I should do here.
For what?
Because they probably have lawsuits against me.
I would expect so, yeah.
Right. I had to give my insurance papers and I didn't have a license.
Did you have insurance?
Yeah, but it was through a friend.
But will you be covered?
I don't know.
Well, the insurance company will appoint a lawyer for you if you get sued. But when you get sued, you may be, I don't know what your policy is. When you get sued above your policy, if you have a policy, then you're going to have to contact a lawyer.
Right.
I don't handle cases like that.
Right. But is it possible in any way then to sue you people?
Sue who?
You. I'm asking you for help.
Sue who? Me?
Yes.
Why you want to sue me?
Well, I'm trying to explain. I had a terrible accident.
What's it got to do with me?
Well, I'm asking you for help, and maybe I could sue for punitive damages that you're giving me.
I'm giving you?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
What'd I do to you?
Well, punitive damages here.
I'm a lawyer. What did I do to you?
The sidecar smashed into a pole and everything. I'm trying to explain this to you.
Well, you want to sue me?
Well, why not?
Me?
Sue everybody.
Sir, I can't help you.
Hello?
Yeah?
The people that you work with and handle, I probably will sue them too because I'm not getting...
Who do I handle? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I had a terrible accident, sir.
Yo, and who are my clients?
I'm sorry. I'm all upset about this. I'm sorry. You can't help me then?
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
All joking aside, no matter who you want to sue, we can help you. And getting started is easy. It's just a question of your name, some basic information, and then we'll take care of everything over here on our end to make it easy for you. And when you combine that with your legal documents, your legal education, your legal support, plus all your other member benefits, then believe me, friend, the only problem you're going to have is that you didn't join sooner. Now, if that sounds fair enough, click the Get Started button now. You'll be glad you did. And if you can't afford to buy anything today, poke around on our free page because you might find something there that can help you, like a free federal FDCPA mortgage fraud lawsuit, a free federal face mask mandate lawsuit, FBI bank fraud package, DIY bankruptcy docs, and much more. There's even forms to waive the court fees and get the United States Federal Marshals to serve your opponent your lawsuit for free. Imagine the look on their face when two well-dressed armed federal agents hand deliver them a copy of your lawsuit. The cost to serve them? Free. The looks on their faces? Priceless. What's in your wallet? Look, you're never helpless or hopeless, so remember, it's not over until you win. If you're looking for a new place to live, get a list of the foreclosures in your desired area, find the one you like the best, and let us see if we can help you get a discount on that, or maybe even help you get it for free. You can get a list of the foreclosures in your area, and a way to find the phone numbers to call at fraudstoppers.org/referrals. One last thing, if you want to make money helping others get the justice they deserve, join Fraud Stoppers referral affiliate programs because now you can get paid for promoting legal education, credit repair, private lending and real estate funding, and mortgage fraud and foreclosure defense products and services. We even have a way for you to make money and improve your credit score at the same time.
Hi, I have some exciting news for you. Now you can make money and improve your credit score at the same time. Debt collectors and creditors routinely violate federal law, and each time they do could be worth thousands of dollars to you. Learn how to catch them red-handed and force them to pay you money to clean up your credit reports. Just click the link below or go to www.fraudstoppers.org/free money right now. And just why should you trust me? Well, everyone knows we couldn't put this on the internet if it wasn't true, right? Oui. So go ahead and click my link below.
We have a totally turnkey 2-tier referral affiliate system. So when you refer someone who buys a product or service, you get paid. And if that person refers someone else who buys a product or service, you both get paid. This way you can refer professionals like realtors, attorneys, and mortgage brokers to build a book of business and residual income. 2 sales a day of the credit repair program would pay you around $50,000 a year. 2 sales a day of the legal education program would pay you around $80,000 a year. 2 sales a day of Fraud Stoppers Quiet Title package would pay you around $100,000 a year, and 2 sales a day of the Legal Shield membership could pay you for the rest of your life. Now, if you want to fast track your income, join these referral affiliate programs today and then record a short video with your smartphone sharing why you like these services. Send us your video and your referral affiliate links, and we'll upload it to the top video sharing websites for you with your affiliate link in the description box. We'll even optimize your video SEO keywords and title to generate the most views and clicks. So whenever your video is viewed, someone clicks your affiliate link, you can make money.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Terrell here in Atlanta. Just taking a few seconds to let you all know that I joined Fraud Stoppers to get help with my mom's foreclosure, and I ended up finding a new way to make money while helping others. So listen up, if you need help stopping a foreclosure, click on the link in the description below. And if you want to make money while helping others, go to www.fraudstoppers.org/referrals. I'm out, guys.
But remember, it's not all about making money here. Your efforts can help others avoid costly mistakes and scams. In fact, a while back, a guy called our office looking for a quiet title lawsuit. He said he already had a chain of title investigation to use as evidence. So I asked him, who did your investigation? He said a private investigator in Texas. So I asked him, what's his name? He told me. And I said, okay, well, how much did you pay for that? And he said $3,500. I said, well, listen, I know you didn't buy it directly from him. Who'd you buy it from? And he said, how do you know I didn't get it from him? He said, because he works here and I know what the price is. You overpaid like $2,000. And he said, wow, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks, but it could be worse. I remember an elderly woman in Houston, Texas, who told me she paid a lawyer $16,000 for a loan modification. The loan modification was never approved, and she lost her house to foreclosure. Now, imagine if that was your mother or your grandmother. How would you feel if some lawyer stole all her money and she lost her house too? It boiled my blood because we could have helped her get a loan mod for free. And this is why your testimonial video and word of mouth is so important, because it could literally help another person avoid getting ripped off. Like Denise DeVolli from Quakertown, PA. She called our office back in 2019 looking for a temporary restraining order, or TRO, to stop her foreclosure sale. She said she paid a foreclosure defense advocate $2,500 for a Bloomberg securitization audit and affidavit. She said it took almost 4 months of calling and complaining before she finally got the audit. Denise was just about to pay that other person another $2,500 to, quote, format the audit into a lawsuit when she found Fraud Stoppers. So I asked Denise, hey, send us a copy of the audit. We'll see if we can use it in a lawsuit for you. When I saw it, I told her, Denise, we sell the same Bloomberg audit for $1,000, less than half of what you paid. Fortunately, we used her audit to produce her lawsuit and TRO for only $500, saving her probably $2,000 or more. Not to mention the fact that we delivered her work product in only 48 hours, probably saving her weeks or months of more frustration. Plus, we advertised her affiliate links in a video that we posted to try to help her recoup some of the money that she paid to this other foreclosure defense advocate. This foreclosure defense advocate tried to sell Denise a $1,500 product for $5,000. Then she had the gall to call CFLA and complain that Fraud Stoppers was trying to steal her client. Where do they learn to talk like this? In some Panama City sailor wanna hump bar? Or is it getaway day and your last shot at our whiskey? Go sell crazy somewhere else, lady. We're all stocked up here. Bottom line, give us one opportunity to earn your business, because trust me, if you give us just one chance, then believe me, I'm sure you're going to be very, very impressed at how we can help you save time and money, increase your odds of success, avoid costly mistakes and scams, and make money helping others do the same. Listen, in life, you can either make money or you can make a difference. Rarely does an opportunity come along where you can do both. But when you join Fraud Stoppers, you'll have an amazing opportunity to earn an unbelievable income for you and your family while helping your fellow American fight to save their piece of the American dream. So join Fraud Stoppers' winning team today and help us pay it forward, so together we can achieve justice, liberty, and freedom for all. We look forward to your victory. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Then stick around and watch some of our other videos. I'm sure you will see something interesting. Until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.
Until then, take care. Bye.
Thanks, Fraud Stoppers.
Thanks, Fraud Stoppers.
Thanks, Fraud Stoppers.
So thank you so much, Fraud Stoppers.
Yeah.
That's Fraud Stoppers.
So thank you, Fraud Stoppers. You guys are great.
You should call Fraud Stopper.
Jenny Larry Johnson, and I wanted to record this testimonial video for fraudstoppers.org.
I use this tort letter I got from Fraud Stoppers to stop my foreclosure sale.
Hi, I'm Amanda. If you're fighting foreclosure and you want to learn how to kick your banker's butt, visit fraudstoppers.org because you'll discover how to save your house and make your lender pay you for mortgage fraud. And by the way, it's fun to hit them where it hurts.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Terrence here in Memphis. Guys, look, I want to give a big shout out to my boys, Fraud Stoppers. I filed a Fraud Stoppers quiet title lawsuit, and Wells Fargo stopped the foreclosure faster than Donald Trump fired the FBI director. Guys, I've never seen anything like this. Fraud Stoppers, man, I owe you guys big time. Thank you.
One last thing, if you want to make money helping other people get the legal remedy they deserve, join our referral affiliate programs because you can get paid for promoting legal education, attorney referrals, credit repair, and mortgage fraud and foreclosure defense products and services. 2 referrals a day of our joint venture Wrongful Foreclosure program could pay you more than $500,000 a year. So there's never been a better time to fight for justice and make money doing it. Help us play it forward so together we can achieve justice and liberty for all. For more information, go to fraudstoppers.org/referrals. We look forward to your victory. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Transmitted at the request of the United States Office of Civil Defense at 3:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. NORAD detected a long-range nuclear missile launch in North Korea.
I'm content to die for my beliefs. So cut off my head and make me a martyr. The people will always remember it. No. They will forget.
A man who walks with God can walk anywhere. Hence, point of guerrilla war is not to succeed. It's always been just to make the enemy bleed, depriving the soldiers of the peace of mind that they need. Bullets are hard to telegraph when they bob and they weave. The only way a guerrilla war can never be over is when the occupation can't afford more soldiers until they have to draft the last of you into the service, and you refuse cause you don't see the purpose. The only way to counter the insurgents that are well equipped is to paint the people fighting for freedom as terrorists, then find a faction looking for foreign investment, install them in power and murder any objections. You can't stop a revolution for breathing, so to beat them they offer people the illusion of freedom. But when you're done dreaming and wake up tortured for treason, then you can see them hiding behind the God they believe in. Deep in the trenches in the heart of a war, that's the place the martyr is born. Glares on during the night before the start of the dawn, that's the place the martyr is born. When the gunshots are raining in the heart of a storm, that's the place the martyr is born. Let's on guerrilla war when the army is gone, that's the place the martyr is born. The purpose of life is a life with a purpose, so I'd rather die for a cause than live a life that is worthless. I don't need the circus or the day of national observance. I need you to think for you and stop being a servant. Pawns only move a square in the game that they're used in, and realize it too late, like a shooting of Huey Newton or Patrice Lumumba and Salvador Allende, slaughtered by the power-hungry branches of their own gente. Gandhi wasn't killed by Pakistani nationals, he was assassinated by a Hindu radical, and Che Guevara, rebel to a U.S. continent, was sold to the CIA by Bolivian communists. Wasn't Yitzhak Rabin murdered by a Zionist, and Anwar Sadat a victim of the same violence? Malcolm X was seen as a threat to the FBI, but to blast them they used Muslims from the NOI. Even the 35th president of the republic was murdered by factions of his own government. So now that it's proven that a soldier of revolution or head of an empire disguised in a constitution cannot escape the retribution or manipulation of the self-appointed rulers of the planet's corporations, so I'ma need every generation to put your hands up, cause you can only get them off your back when you stand up. Deep in the trenches in the heart of a war, that's the place the martyr is born. Glares on during the night before the start of the dawn, that's the place the martyr is born. When the gunshots are raining in the heart of a storm, that's the place the martyr is born. Let's on guerrilla war when the army is gone, that's the place the martyr is born. Let's on. I was a man blessed by God to survive some of the worst circumstances. I had many things: beautiful woman I loved, a home, money, and I gave it all up to bleed and to die free. Sometimes I look back on that life and I wonder what it would have been like. And in moments of weakness I think about trading it, but then I snap out of it and I get back to my reality, and I realize that I'm in the heart of a war, and that's the place a martyr is born.